Today I'm going to teach you how to stay focused on your art when you're running a business from home, or even if you just have a hard time getting started. Even when you have ADHD and other mental illnesses such as depression or anxiety, which are also comorbid conditions of ADHD. Don't forget to stick around until the end, or I'll give you some bonus tips on how to improve your art faster. Hi sweethearts, I'm Candy from Candy Hearts Art. At Candy Hearts Art, I want to create a lovely little community where we help each other, can talk about our problems, and to help you realize your full potential as a person and as an artist. As a bit of a background about me, I'm 29, I'm a full-time mother, I'm Australian, I'm an artist with a somewhat successful art business. I was diagnosed with severe ADHD and self-diagnosed with autism. The tips that I'll share with you today in this video will reflect coping mechanisms that I've taught myself over the years. They help me. If you have anything that helps you too, leave a comment below because I'd love to hear your ideas and for your ideas to help others too. You don't have to have ADHD for the tips in this video to be useful to you. If you like to improve yourself as a person and as an artist, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you can be notified when I make more content. So the first tip I'm going to have for you today is to get into a good mindset. The way that I've personally been able to do this is by exercising very first thing in the morning. Since I've been on medication, I've been able to get into more of a routine. Medication isn't necessary though. This is how it goes for me. At 8 a.m, I'll get out of bed, get my toddler ready, change his nappy, diaper if you're in America, feed him breakfast, get my walking tights on, take my medication and vitamins, put him in the pram and leave the house by 8:30. When I'm on my walk, I'll listen to music to get myself into an upbeat mood, and this helps me be happy until my medication kicks in and I can focus on my day. I know if you aren't medicated, this can be really difficult, and I strongly recommend seeking a diagnosis if you think you have undiagnosed ADHD. So what exercising does is it releases endorphins. People with ADHD struggle to focus because we aren't getting enough dopamine to our brains. Exercising can really help with this, whether you're medicated or not. So before I get into tip number 2, I'd just like to also know if you have anything that helps you, leave a comment below because I really love to hear your ideas, and maybe they can help some fellow artists in the Candy Hearts art community too. So tip number 2 is coming up with a project. Start a product line with a theme. If you have ADHD or depression, getting motivated to start can be so hard. If you come up with a simple series that you're hyped to do and you're hyped about creating them, then this can make everything a lot more exciting. ADHD brains crave excitement and dopamine and stimulation, so that's why this tip works really well. An example of this would be like my new Evolutions fan art sticker line. It's only 9 drawings. I've had a few days break because I've had a cold right now, if you can hear that. But I can create one of these drawings, like the one in this video, in about 2 to 3 hours. These will eventually be a product line which contributes to my goals of furthering my business, and people can sense that I'm excited about the idea. So I've already pre-sold out of the stickers, so it's proven like that this will work for you if you set your mind to it. So tip number 3 is to procrastinate productively. Go on Pinterest and look up ideas. So when you're stuck and you're on social media all the time, it can be really hard to get out of that mindset. For people with ADHD, they'll just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling on social media and you can't control it. What you can sort of control is remembering, hey, there's some good ideas on Pinterest. I propose that we don't try and stop our distracted brains because that's how our brains work, and instead you lean into that distraction. So you can go on Pinterest, for example, and look up inspiration relevant to your artistic ideas. Personally, I've looked up anatomy studies before, as well as color schemes, like art that I like the colors of. I'll just save that idea under a board called color schemes. I've looked up outfit designs, clothing designs, fashion designs, whatever you want to call it. And when you start to click on one thing on Pinterest, the great thing is it'll come up with a lot of other suggestions for you of similar things. I have Pinterest boards for lots of ideas. If you're interested in taking a look at my Pinterest boards, which it's only a recent discovery for me, so there won't be like tons of stuff on there just yet. But it's pinterest.com/candyheartsart. Pinterest is a fantastic thing for an ADHD mind, and you'll find yourself pinning things left, right and center and suddenly you'll feel more motivated to create. Okay, so tip number 4 is to keep going and don't take breaks. Stay with me. I'm pretty much going to tell you the opposite of what you've ever heard because our brains are different from everyone else. So that's okay, and you can lean into that. If you're serious about your art and your art business, don't take too many breaks. People with ADHD need momentum to keep them moving forward, and once you stop, you start to spiral and fall into this pit of despair. Now, I'm not talking about working yourself so hard that you feel like you're burnt out. I'm talking about if you can only have time for art for an hour a day, then do that. Don't take breaks from your art if you can help it, unless you're sick or there's an emergency, obviously. And don't beat yourself up if executive dysfunction takes over and just won't let you do art that day. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you can help it, set aside an hour every day and do some art. Tip 5 is to keep a list of your ideas. This kind of ties into the Pinterest board as well, like the same tip, but if you use a PC, there's a program called Sticky Notes that I highly recommend. You can make a list on there, and my list is just called Art Ideas. Then I have a separate one for YouTube called Content Ideas. If you don't use a PC, then you can use your phone in the notes section, and anytime your brain comes up with an idea, good or bad, write it down anyway. Write it down right away. If you don't, your brain will forget. Don't believe your brain when it tells you it'll remember it later, because it won't. Especially when you woke up at 2 a.m. and your brain says you'll remember. Don't trust the brain. Bonus tips, as I promised at the start of the video, how to improve your art faster. Tip number 1, study more anatomy. When you do loose little sketches of anatomy in your sketchbook every day, it helps you to improve your muscle memory. And that can really help you with the fundamentals of being a great artist. Tip number 2 is draw every day. So these kind of go hand in hand. You can do your loose anatomy sketches in your sketchbook every day, and this will help you keep climbing the art ladder. Tip number 3, draw circles and lines. I know this sounds kind of weird, but if you draw lots of little circles, you might do like big circles and then small circles in a pattern, and lines, and you might do like lines horizontally and then vertically alternating, then you'll improve your muscle memory and your hand-eye coordination. So that's it. Those are my tips for how to combat ADHD, depression and anxiety when it inhibits you working on your art, as well as my bonus tips for how to improve your art faster. I'll put a little infographic on the video now that lists all of the things in bullet point form. So if you'd like to write them down or screen cap it, you can pause the video and do that now. If you found this video and advice helpful and you like to improve yourself as a person and an artist, go ahead, hit subscribe and ring the notification bell so you won't miss more content like this. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next time on my channel, Candy Hearts Art.